Welcome Home, a podcast for veterans, about veterans by veterans, is a project of Willing Warriors and the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run.
Good morning. I'm Larry Ziliox, Director of Culinary Services here at the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run. And today our guest is Diane Lunsford. She's the event coordinator here at the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run. And I wanted to have her come on and tell us about the upcoming events we have throughout the rest of the year. It's from mid-year on is when we really pack in the events, some really fun things, a couple of fundraising activities. I just thought an update and how you can participate is really something that's in order right now. So Diane, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks for having me back.
So you were here a year ago about this time. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
When we were getting ready for Vets for Vets, and that's coming up again. That's our next big event is Vets for Vets in July.
That's correct. So Vets for Vets this year is on July 20th, which is a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's hosted right here at the retreat on the retreat grounds. For people who are interested in exhibiting one of their incredible vintage Corvettes or even present-day Corvettes or their classic car, registration is open to do so, and they can access registration by going to willingwarriors.org, drop down the events menu, and select Vets for Vets, and that will drive you right to the registration information.
For somebody who wants to bring their car
Yes.
and put it in the show.
Yes.
And to enter the show, it costs, what, $400 or $500?
Right now, the fee is $20 per vehicle, and 2 weeks before the show, we will increase that rate to $25, and it'll be $25 the day of per vehicle registration.
Well, we're kind of giving it away, aren't we? I mean, $25. What a steal. That's the best deal going. You can't go to McDonald's for $25.
You can't go to a lot of places anymore.
Can't go anywhere. The dollar store won't let you in unless you got more than $25.
Well, let me just expand on that a little bit, Larry. One of the things that makes the Vets for Vets be such a signature or coveted event to attend is there is an incredible vibe of patriotism, a lot of veterans and warrior presence on that day. And it's almost like a nod to summertime. People can enjoy a hamburger or a hot dog for free, and a soft drink or water again for free. And there's just a real pulse throughout of happy people. We have Radio Envy, who is returning this year as our band, and they play just amazing music.
Yeah, they do.
I think locals are pretty familiar with their capabilities. And this year, we also have a celebrity of sorts returning. Wayne Carini of Classic Car Show will be here again.
Chasing Classic
Cars.
Yeah.
And he will be the judge. He'll collaborate with Chuck Burge, who is the ambassador of the retreat and also of this event. So he'll collaborate with him to make the announcements of the award winners at the end of the event. Right around the 1:15 time frame, they'll announce who the car winners are.
And so it's not just one winner. There are different categories, right?
Right. There's about 7 or 8 different categories that they can enter or they can be voted upon to win. And what makes that fun is the public is very supportive of purchasing Mardi Gras beads and hanging them on their favorite vehicle. And then our founding members, shortly before the actual announcement of winners is made, will go through and call the cars to come up with their best in class or, the best vehicle in this division, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just a lot of fun. I think these guys take it very seriously.
Oh, yeah. So we have the Founders Award, which is judged by John and Shirley.
Yes.
Then we have like the professional judges.
Yes.
Chuck Burge and Wayne Carini. And then we have the public awards. So that's based on how many beads.
People's Choice.
People's Choice, how many beads you get. Is there the minister's choice or the favorite plumber's choice? What other awards are there?
There are different categories like the C1, the C6, the C8 divisions of vehicles, and we haven't quite determined how that judging is going to go as yet, but there will be other contenders in that.
Okay.
I think another thing that's exciting is every year we have the premier year, the current year vehicle number 1 that comes off the line for Corvettes. So that will be on display on the grounds again this year.
That's the 2024 number 1.
The 2024 number 1.
Crazy.
And then that'll pretty much be nose to nose with a vintage Corvette.
Wow. Now, I remember last year they were near registration. You could see the first year's model and the latest year's model.
Yes.
That was quite a difference. If you haven't seen it, it's quite a difference. That's great. We'll pray for no rain.
Oh.
No rain whatsoever. There is a rain date, though.
Yes, there is.
So the actual Corvette, Vets for Vets, is July 20th.
Correct.
And the rain date is
August 17th.
Okay.
Same time, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed there. So we have Vets for Vets coming up. It's just a wonderful, fun day. Now, if you were here last year and saw the cars, one of the things that you saw while you were on the property was they were building a house. It was framed out to the first floor. We asked our builder, said, TJ, we got Vets for Vets going. Can you get something up for us so we can talk to people about what we're doing? And you will have seen the first floor stick frame. And boy, will you be surprised when you come this year, because you're going to see that completed Grand Lodge, and it is something.
It's truly impressive. Well, first of all, it's a beauty to behold. It's a tremendous achievement as the newest and last edition in terms of a residential structure on the grounds. But what makes the Warrior Grand Lodge, the PenFed Grand Lodge, unique in comparison to the Lang House and the PenFed House is this is opening up a whole new opportunity for us to host educational programs that are pointed or targeted for that assistance with the Warriors.
Yep.
Last year, we stood up the first moral injury program with Captain Wooten, Captain Brittany Wooten, and she is returning this year with a continuation of that program. It was quite well received last year.
Yeah, she is the chaplain for the Soldier Recovery Unit at Fort Belvoir.
Yes, of whom we work quite closely with.
Yes, wonderful. When you think of what a chaplain should be, that's what a chaplain should be. They should be Captain Wooten. She's amazing.
Agreed.
Amazing.
She's truly she's an angel from above.
Yes, she's special. So yeah, make sure you come, because you want to take a tour of the Grand Lodge. You want to see it, and take a tour of the Lang House and the PenFed House, because they're air conditioned. And it is July in Virginia, so it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
It's funny that you say that, because I want to add one more thing. We also have, each year we try to innovate and expand the attraction for the local community. And this year we're going to have the big veterans mobile unit here that is air conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
So if people want to go in and learn more about what the Veterans Administration is doing, that's an opportunity to take a peek inside that. We'll have the American Legion will be returning with their mobile library or museum, if you will.
The point is that there will be a number of veteran resources here. Veteran service organizations. Commonwealth will have the Department of Veteran Services. Mission 22 will be here. Serving Together will be here. There'll be a bunch of great organizations that will provide all sorts of resources and things for our veterans that come for the show.
And that's a good point to close out this aspect of the event. We currently have approximately 7 or 8 vendors in place. We always open it up to give those veterans type or veteran-centric organizations to showcase what they're doing on behalf of veterans, up to a total of 12 vendors on site. So if anyone is interested in participating this year, they can reach out to me by email, and I'd be happy to walk them through what the process is and how they can go about, because we'd love to welcome them. We're always looking for ways to further the awareness, not only of the Warrior Retreat, but to let them know we are here to serve the warrior. In any way we can do that, we're happy to do so.
And that would be another veteran service organization,
Yes.
a nonprofit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
July, that's for vets. Next after that is the Warrior Ride.
The Warrior Ride.
The famous annual, what is it, the 14th annual?
This is the 7th annual.
7th annual. Okay, I'm sorry. It seems like it's gone on longer than what it has. But
I'm not even going to comment on that, Larry.
it's an amazing event. It does not take place here at the Warrior Retreat.
No.
But it's over at the Farm Brewery on 55. And that's where the riders start. It's a bicycle ride. They start there and they end there. A number of different races, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then there's a barbecue lunch when they're done, which is fun. It's just a lot of fun. Another great day we'll have. I think, how many riders did we have last year? Over 300?
Last year we had 287.
Oh, it was close.
So we are getting close. We always try to raise that bar each year, and we're getting a lot of interest already for participants. And one thing I do want to note is you do not have to be a professional bicycle racer to join in the fun. This is very much so it's a pleasure ride, if you will. If you have that endurance where it's like, I've always wanted to ride 13 miles, but I don't race my bike or anything, come join us. There's something for everyone. There's the 13-mile ride, which is the flag ride, which is very, very much so a ride that a lot of people have interest in, because 13 miles is, I can do that. Mm-hmm. Then it segues over to the gravel route, which is very much so for the backcountry gravel grinding enthusiasts. That is virtually, I would venture to say it's at least a 7% grade going straight up, and that's a lot.
That's for mountain bikes.
For mountain bikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
For mountain bikes or off-road, I'm not versed in particular specific bike lingo, but it's very much so not your road bike. It's more for something that is designed for off-road.
Right.
Then you have the half metric, which we gain more and more enthusiasts in that, because it's not quite that marathon length, but it's not too unrealistic. If you are a continuous cyclist where you do go out and ride your bike quite a bit, people always want to challenge themselves to that next level. So that's a nice one to maybe give it a go. And then lastly, the metric. And that, I will say, we do have a lot of riders who they do a lot of that semi, or they do a lot of different races or bike events that are offered throughout the state of Virginia. And I think some travel to other states to cycle.
So these are folks that like to do this, and every weekend that they're out riding 100 miles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what's also so enjoyable about this ride is it covers some of the most beautiful terrain in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
You are going through the backcountry of truly what was once Bridle Pass that Washington and Company rode across back in the turn of the century. So to be able to experience that, a lot of that land is still very pristinely maintained. So there's a lot of visual enjoyment as you're cycling that maybe takes your mind off the pain your legs are experiencing.
Yeah, really. And a lot of the routes are out near Middleburg, and it's horse country. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And again, it'll be another nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was a beautiful day until, thank God, the race was over. Everything was packed up, and then we got back to the retreat, and it was crazy. It rained so hard, trees came down. It took hours to get home.
So let's go over some of the details on if someone said, well, how
do you sign up?
So that you can go to the willingwarriors.org site again. You can do your drop-down menu of events and select Warrior Ride 2024.
Mm-hmm.
What that will do is redirect you to the bike registration site. There's a two-step process involved in that where some people are just individual riders, but others like to do fundraising teams. So when you get to that bike reg site, you have your registration module, but as you scroll down through the landing page, you'll see the opportunity to set up an actual fundraising team. What makes that fun for the individual as well as the team is each rider that is able to raise $50 or greater will get a commemorative gift. I'm not going to divulge what that is quite yet because we're still working on that. But last year we did a wonderful water bottle that was very suited for bikes.
Okay.
So we always try to, again, up our game each year, and we're working on something
special. Is it a pony?
If it was a pony, I'd ride too.
Well, so that would be like if I wanted some folks that I work with to ride with me, and we would, it'd be Bob's Super Fast Racing Team. And I'd create that on Bike Reg and then get them to register and pay.
Yes.
And then everything would be team focused.
Correct, because now they're doing a collaborative effort of raising funds. Within that team, their name is still points to that team, so you can see the individual efforts of the team members as well. But as a collaborative team, it's an opportunity to, again, support a worthy cause and be able to raise those funds collectively versus each person trying to climb the hill. Like, I hope we can make this much. I hope I can make this much money this year. And it's just it's a more seamless and fun way. We have a lot of organizations like AWS has recently reached out to me. They want to develop a team again this year.
Oh, good.
They're tremendous supporters of the Warrior Retreat in general, but they very much so point towards the Warrior Ride each year.
What does it cost as an individual rider?
It's a $75 registration fee.
Okay.
And all of these details are on that Bike Reg site once you're redirected. They also have it set up where you can do your pre-packet pickup if you are participating in one of the rides the evening before, which will be open from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Farm Brewery.
Okay.
And again, a lot of people like that option to do so that when they come and check in the day of the ride, it's one less thing. They still have to check in, but they don't have to go through picking up their packet, their bib number. They have all of that. They just need to simply check in the next day.
Good. So as I understand this, if I'm a rider just by myself, I pay $75 and I go out and ride. I ride for 100 miles. I come back. I have a barbecue lunch, and then I go home. We all have their $75. That's
correct.
That they paid and they registered and they rode and they had fun and they had a good meal. Now, as a team, when the team signs up, they pay their registration.
Correct.
But then they go and say, hey, Uncle Bob, will you sponsor me for $100 if I don't die during this ride? Will, the work, will they $500? And each team member is trying to outraise each other. And It all goes to a good cause.
Exactly, because it all eventually points back to the efforts that have been obtained during, at the end of day on the day of the ride. But you're absolutely right. Regardless if you're an individual rider or you decide to formulate a team, if it's a team, each of those riders still registers to participate if they're cycling, but then it's game on. We're going to go ahead and be the winning team fundraiser. And I think it's important to give a nod to one particular person, Peter Eberly.
Yes,
Peter and Jim Eberly.
Team Eberly.
They are fierce with their fundraising. Last year they managed to raise over $10,000. I think it was closer to $15,000. And Peter he goes big. He goes big or he goes home. So this year he set the bar for him and Jeannie to raise $20,000.
Jeez.
We are blessed to have the support and just the adoration that they have for what we do here. And they're taking that message, Larry. They used to live in the DMV. They are now living in Kentucky. So they are spreading the news about the Warrior Retreat in the midsection of our country now, which it's phenomenal. And they do it for the lack of a better vernacular, willingly. And they're always they're always connected to what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what new innovations or nuances we're working on.
Yeah, they're wonderful, wonderful folks. They volunteered here before they moved. There were two of my sous chefs. They're amazing cooks.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're really great cooks. And then unfortunately they moved away to Kentucky. But it's another example of volunteers who are so attached to retreat, they come back for special events. So Peter and Jeannie have been coming back for years, ever since they moved. That's just great. I'm really excited about it. I will say there's a couple of things about this event that make it stand out in my mind over any other event that we do and that I've ever seen. A couple of things, this bike reg thing. I don't ride the bike. I can barely drive my truck. And this bike reg is really kind of amazing.
Yes.
You log into this thing and it has the routes. It shows you the elevations. It has the whole route just laid out perfectly. So there's no guessing. You don't, it's just chock full of information. You know exactly what you're signing up for. And it's just a well-run and made webpage. I'm impressed with that. Two is the organization of the event. The event itself is, I've talked to riders and they say, time and again, they say this is one of the most best organized riding events they've been to. One of the safest riding events they've been to, partly because we do hire some police officers to direct some traffic at critical points, as well as the NAM Knights, which is a local motorcycle club made up of veterans and local law enforcement. They ride road guard for riders. So you're putting these guys who look mean, but they're sweet as can be, on their motorcycles behind riders so cars don't encroach on them. And they're guiding the way. They're out there. We also have an ambulance at each rest stop. We also have ham radio operators along the route so that we can keep track of who's riding where, any issues, any problems. So from an organization standpoint, it's just phenomenal. And I hear that all the time.
Well, thank you for pointing that out, Larry, because that points to the volunteer efforts that contribute or participate in a lot of these events with Willing Warriors. And again, they're happy to do so because they know that they're doing something that's meaningful, not only to something that provides purpose for them, but they do it because it's meaningful and they know that they're contributing to the overarching mission of Willing Warriors. So there's never a lack of people wanting to step up and volunteer. If anything, there are so many people that want to get on the volunteer list.
Well over 100 volunteers. And when you get to the brewery, you're going to see the ham radio communications people set up. Yeah. You're going to see the fire trucks and the ambulances. You're going to see nurses from UVA have a tent set up. And the staff chefs will be out there serving lunch. So it's just, it's a huge effort, but these riders keep coming back because it's a quality event.
Well, and it's memorable.
Yeah.
It's memorable. And I think, too, when you get into those upper levels of the riders who truly, that's what they do all summer and spring, summer, and fall is ride. Mm-hmm. They look forward to this because it's not a competitive day where it's like, I mean, some of them definitely are competitive.
Oh, yeah.
But they know that this isn't going to be a checkbox on, completing so many miles on the roads as part of their level of ridership.
Yeah.
So it's great. And I don't know if we mentioned, Larry, but the date of the event is September 7th.
Yes, there you go.
It's September 7th, and the gates open to the public, I want to say right around, for the general public, they usually show up right around the time the first heat is going off, which is right around the 8:30-ish time frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ridership and people who are physically participating in the rides, since the first heat, which is the gravel route, goes off that's first out of the gate. Those teams usually depart right around the 6:30 a.m. time frame. So the behind the scenes, all of we who stand everything up, we're usually there right around 5 a.m. getting things going and ready for that first person to arrive.
Yeah, I'm not awake then. I'm sorry. I am not up for that. I think I usually roll in around 9.
And then further enhance what you were saying about Bike Reg, on that landing page, if you do want to pledge or formulate a team, it will give you that opportunity again as you continue to scroll down. There's a definitive box in there for Pledge Reg, which gives you the opportunity to, and it will redirect you to the Pledge Reg site. But again, it's very intuitive, it's very user friendly, and it's just a lot of fun. I love easy websites.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see everybody out there. If you ride, you don't have to be a professional. It'll be fun. It'll be a great day. Good cause, good food. So now the last big event of the year is everybody's favorite. It's the gala. And this year it's again at Lansdowne. We've always had a good time at Lansdowne. It is December.
It's on November 2nd from 5 p.m. to 10:30. And we extended the time a little bit because back by popular demand, there will be a dance floor.
Oh, boy.
And we are thrilled to have nightlife as our entertainment this year.
The Nighthawks?
The Nighthawks. Thank you, Larry. The Nighthawks are an incredibly talented band with a very gifted vocalist. They point to every type of genre of music you could imagine. I would personally say that their forte is definitely the swing era. They have a full brass section, which will be front and center at the gala. And as I said, their vocalist, Heather, is incredibly talented, beautiful voice. She actually sang the national anthem for us at our ribbon cutting ceremony in April.
Yeah.
So people who attended that will be like, I remember her and remember the band.
Yeah.
And people who did not, you need to buy your tickets now because the overall evening is going to be incredibly fun.
Yeah, real treat. It's a tribute to the Warriors.
Yes.
For sure. It's a fundraiser. I mean, we have to have it. We have to have money to operate. We have to have funds so that we can keep the doors open and we can have wounded warriors and their families from Walter Reed, Fort Belvoir, any one of the other 14 soldier recovery units around the country come and stay with us for a week. It's respite. It's just a way to get away and to relax, and it costs money.
Right. And I love that you put it in that frame of mind because it is a fundraiser and it's our greatest effort at the year event to take that reflection back and look at the difference or look at the positive impact we made in warriors' lives this year, which hopefully gave them more hope in a sense of it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But in order to provide that, it does require funds because we don't receive these warriors and say, okay, well, your guest stay will cost you this much. It costs the warrior nothing.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's another reason that's so important and points to our why we do what we do, because we can as stewards, and we are grateful for all of the support that we get.
Yeah. It's a fun night. There's going to be the dancing, and the food is good. And it's a great ceremony. It's a fun time. Everybody dresses up. Everybody cleans up real nice. And we have a number of our warriors that stay with us who we invite back and say, come and have a good time. And, sit at a table and talk to people and tell them about the impact that it had on you and your family. It's just a great way to share. And it's November.
So it's November 2nd from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. But one of the things I want to note is tickets are on sale now. And it's easy to access the site by going to willingwarriors.org, go to the events menu, drop down, you'll see the Willing Warriors Gala, select it. And what we are very much so looking to welcome this year is our new sponsors, new people to begin their journey with Willing Warriors and continue the journey. We never go, for the lack of saying this differently, Larry, we're not looking for people that it's one and done, thank you for your check, and we'll see you in our next life.
Yeah.
We're looking for people to commit to joining the journey with us.
Yeah.
When you do your drop down and look at your registration, there are 3 opportunities. One is obviously registration to purchase your ticket. If you're interested in sponsorship, there is an actual button that's titled sponsorship, which that drops down and that will show you all of the different ways that you can become a sponsor, from anywhere from sponsor a warrior up to an actual presenting sponsor for the event.
Wow.
So there's a whole myriad of in between, and there's all kinds of ways we can nuance for you to get involved and support. And I am welcoming as many calls as they want to come into to me to take, because it gives me great pride to showcase everything that we do here and why we do what we do.
Yeah. So it's going to be a great event. We want everybody to go to the webpage, get your tickets now before they sell out.
Yes.
It's always, we have 300 people there easily.
350 this year.
Yeah, 350. We have the seats for 350. Well, Diane and I will be there, so it's 348. So get them now while you can.
But Larry, hold on a second.
Yeah.
They can have my chair because I never use it the entire night. I'm too busy running around.
All right. Well, that's good. So I'll have my dinner, and then I'll go over and sit in your chair.
Okay.
And have your dinner for you. Well, go to the webpage. Everything starts at the webpage, willingwarriors.org. You'll see about our mission. You'll see the events. Hit that drop down. Hit that button up in the right-hand corner. It says donate. Give us $15, $25, $100, $1,000, whatever you can spare. We will put that money to good use.
Yes.
We need those operational funds. That's what the gala is all about. But it's also about tribute to the warriors and having a good time. And I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, Diane, thank you so much for sitting down with us and giving us an update. And we've got great things ahead. And I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Larry. It's always a pleasure.
For our listeners, we'll have another episode next Monday morning at 5 a.m. for those who like to get up early and listen to podcasts. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can reach us at podcast@willingwarriors.org. Until then, thanks for listening.
The Welcome Home podcast is brought to you by Willing Warriors, a nonprofit organization serving active duty service members and veterans since 2012. To learn more, please visit our webpage at willingwarriors.org.